stream. Oh my God. I know. Y'all are thinking, where in the hell have these two been? Look, I'm so sorry that we went MIA on y'all. Look, but we're back this week.
We are
We're back.
back right here.
It's me
Look at us.
and your boy Rob. We're back. Visky's on consignment again. You know he'll pop back in whenever he's ready. Okay, he'll pop back in. But but
Yes, you
but
wait.
yeah, just you wait. But in the meantime, we gotta go ahead and say something, and I'm gonna probably go ahead and wind up fixing a little something while we sitting here. But it's Bro Migos podcast as always. Like, subscribe, remember, come through, talk with us. Yeah, hit the notification button because we're always there. Look, I disappear and come back just like that. Boom, because we're
Voila.
here. We're here.
Magic.
Voila, magic time, magic goddamn time. Okay, now with that being said, Rob, I gotta let the people know something. Okay, I
What up,
gotta
though?
let the people know something. Look, I gotta let them know about us. Look. So look, we done did something special for y'all this weekend.
Special.
We done did something special for y'all, whether y'all know it or not. The Bramigos, we did something real special. We wrestled with alligators. Okay,
Mm.
we went and tussled with a whale. Okay, we handcuffed lightning and threw thunder in jail. Goddamn it, you don't even know I'm a bad goddamn man. Look, just last week I murdered a rock. Rob injured a stone, and Visky, he hospitalized a brick. God damn it, we so goddamn mean. We could make medicine sick around here. Y'all better come on through whenever we on here preaching on this podcast. Like, subscribe, tell all you people about us. We even gonna be up on TikTok, YouTube. We do our thing.
Talk to him.
We do our thing. We do our thing, bro. But look, this week we got a packed show for y'all. As usual. We're gonna come to y'all a couple things to open up the show. We have to say it as in the title of the episode. The Dodgers did not need goddamn Tucker. They did not
Not
need
one
Kyle
bit.
Tucker one bit. Okay? I don't care what any of you look. If you're approving that, you're a Dodgers fan. Okay?
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to approve it, but we disapprove it.
I say you ain't supposed to prove it.
Look, Rob
You,
is letting
you
you know.
greed is a sin, my brothers and
Greed is a
sisters.
sin, my brother, and they must know. They must know, damn it. They must know that this is quite the sin, bro. This is quite the sin. You,
Too
you can't
much.
be acting like that. You cannot be acting like that with us. You cannot be going out there saying, "Hey, this is what it is." But Rob, I'm gonna go ahead and let you open the show, giving some words of encouragement to our favorite team head coaches. Rob, go ahead and let them know.
So as y'all saw last week,
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking on her name. Uh but we had Lynn Jones. No, sorry. We had uh, Miss Lynn basically out in Jacksonville who was
Mm-hmm.
giving words of encouragement to Liam Cohen after they had their loss against the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
And so we basically wanted to, as Bramigos podcast, wanted to give words of encouragement to the coaches that of our favorite teams, that we basically, have, like of course, Vikings fan, through and through, and they got, his Chiefs and everything. So I want to start off by giving words of encouragement to Kelsey. So if you give me the floor, I will give my words of encouragement to Kelsey. So
Go ahead. I'm gonna give you the floor, bro.
all right. So KLC, man, look, you keep your head up. Did a great job. No matter what people are saying about what everything's going on with JJ McCarthy, I understand what you like. You have a plan with that dude. You have a plan. He basically was in year two, but really was in year one.
Mm-hmm.
And when we really talk about it, he was in year half of one because he was gone half the goddamn time. But through and through, with that, you basically got this team to a 9-8 record, 5 straight wins to end the season. You can't really go against anything like that. Not too many coaches can basically right the ship to end the season as well as y'all did. Everything seemed so bleak. Everything seemed like it was going away. Everything was going awry. But no, y'all kept y'all head up. Brian Flores held the defense down. We held teams down, through and through. And y'all did the damn thing. So KOC, you do you, my brother. You basically make sure that you have a good time. You basically make you have some good drink. Even if you don't drink, get some wine punch. Mix it up with some ginger ale. You treat yourself. Get some sherbet. Put some little ginger ale in that. Whatever you got to do. All right. You get yourself a nice, relaxing drink, and you basically make sure you have a nice, relaxing off season, because I think things are going to be much better for y'all next year. I think when basically we have some more healthy players, when we basically go into year 2 with some of our free agent acquisitions, of course, we better bring back Jordan Mason and everything like that. And I know you ain't got nothing to do with that, but be that as it may, everything is going to turn out a little bit better. We're going to have JJ McCarthy coming in for year 3, really year 2. We're gonna have Justin Jefferson still there. We're gonna have, hopefully Jordan Addison if he don't do something else. But we're gonna have a lot of our players, Darisaw, Brian O'Neill, like all these basically players coming back again. Van Ginkel, all these players coming back again, and you do you. You did a great job this year. I don't think you're gonna win Coach of the Year. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that later, but you do you, and I'm thankful that you are our coach, and I'm thankful that you basically held Vikings Nation down. Skull, my brother, skull.
Okay. Whereas he feels that way, I'm gonna tell you how I feel currently about the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid, I have some words of encouragement for you. Don't fuck this up. Okay? Don't fuck this up. Okay? We cannot afford to fuck this up. Okay? Patrick Mahomes is recovering. Okay? It's gonna be a big deal. He's trying to push for week 1. I would look, unless he's really ready for week 1, I wouldn't really want him out there unless he's completely healthy, doctor cleared, all that good jazz. But don't fuck this up. We need a real number 1 receiver, okay? We need a real number 1. This is your time to go scour and do what Andy Reid does whenever it comes to getting us a number 1. Go find the right players. Make this offense whole again. Tell Travis Kelce his old ass need to retire. Okay? Give Noah Gray a shot. I'm going to just say, I'm pretty sure Kyle Pitts is about to be on free agency. I'm just throwing that out there.
Spicy.
There's a guy in Atlanta that could be used. Yeah. Just saying, we could go Patriots style, 2 tight ends, him and Noah Gray, We can win. My words of encouragement to you: don't fuck this up. Okay? We need to make another run. We need more Super Bowls. Okay? We're giving one away right now. Okay? Because nobody knows who's going to win right now. It is literally the wild, wild west right now. Okay? You got obliques. You got no Kittle. You have a myriad of crap going on right now in the NFL, and we do not know who is even remotely close to going to the Super Bowl. Okay, some say the Houston Texans, some saying New England gonna get this. It could be anybody. Okay, but my words to you of encouragement: don't fuck this up. Just like a black parent to a black child, don't make me hurt you. Okay. Don't make me hurt you. It's the best I can do right now, okay? It's the best I can do.
Okay. I mean, that was words.
Don't make me hurt you. You know how your mama talks to you, and then you don't make me hurt you.
So I mean, those were encouraging. Those were motivating words.
Yes, they were.
Those were absolutely motivating words.
You got shit done. You got shit done after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's Lynn Jones of the Jacksonville Free Press. So just want to make sure, give her accurate credit.
Yeah. She deserves all. Now, Rob, coach is on the move. It's a shake-up. People are getting fired left and right. People are retiring.
Carousel. The coaching carousel
The
is on, man.
coaching carousel is in full effect, but one coach hopped off and he hopped right back on with another team already, and that's John Harbaugh to the Giants. Is
Mm-hmm.
this good? Do you feel like this is good, Rob? How you
I
feel about
do.
this?
I do. And the thing is, it's funny that people are so damn bad about, like, so down on it. Like, oh, what is he gonna do with them? Like, this is a Super Bowl winning head coach. This is a coach that basically stayed at his job for almost 20 years, similar to Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
But yeah, like, this is a coach that basically did a good job over there with the Ravens. Now, you could also say the Ravens put great players around him, were top-notch organization, have been
Mm-hmm.
essentially the last 25 years. Got you. I understand that. But it's still to where he did drive the ship, and he did drive it to with Joe Flacco as his quarterback and won a Super Bowl.
Yes, he did.
No matter what way you no matter what way you swing it. But this is at least a good thing, because I think when it comes to John Harbaugh, I think people saw as a way that that run ended with the Ravens and think that, like, okay, well, he's not really a good coach. But I think that when it comes to certain guys and certain jobs, I think that you can get stale. And I think that after a while, you can get to where it's like, all right, when shit really hits the fan and when it's nut cutting time, the voice that basically you've been given and the reverence that you've gotten has kind of evaporated. And it's just like, oh shit, we're going through this shit again. Okay, oh shit, we're doing this shit again. Like Steve, like Biscotti, the owner of the Ravens, like he was asked during a press conference, like, if basically Tyler Loop makes that field goal, would that save John Harbaugh's job? And he said, for a week. Like, they were ready to move on from him. And I think it was because it's like, okay, we've done this. We're done. We're through with this.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move past it. Let's go ahead and move on to someone else. It don't have to be better. It just got to be different. And I
Yeah.
understand that kind of thing, because, like, after a while, your voice gonna get stale, and after a while, you basically got to say, okay, do I wait until this thing completely falls off the rails and goes away, or do I say, let's try something new? And
Yeah.
the Ravens chose to try something new. They still got Ozzie Newsome handling things there, and they gonna get somebody else good for that job. But for the Giants, I think that he'll be a good welcoming presence where you got a lot of young players, Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, Scam Scattaboo, coming back from injury. Like, you're going to have basically more firepower. I don't say more firepower, because those guys do not have the reference that, like, say, a Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and others have already in the league. But they're up and coming guys coming off of injury, but up and coming guys that basically have a good amount of potential. And I think that with what he's done with the Ravens, I think that he can get, depending on what happens with Todd Monkey, because at least with the Ravens, they start out hot.
Yeah.
But with Todd Monken or whoever else they're gonna have on that staff, I think they can basically make shit work.
So this is how I look at this right now. Okay. The Giants had 6 losses that were within a touchdown or less.
Mhm.
Okay. They were 4-13. If you take away 6 of those losses and you turn those into wins, you are 10-17. 10-7 this year. If you look at how things played out right now, okay. If you look at how things played out in every division, 10-7 puts them right under Philly, and Philly was one of those touchdown or less losses. So you knock Philly to 10-6. Or you knock Philly to 10-7 along with you. Okay,
Mhm.
so now we're literally fighting for the top of the NFCs. Okay, like, it's that simple. I think Harbaugh can go in there. We can move these losses to wins. You got a young quarterback with talent. Okay, you have a running back who, if he comes back healthy, he has talent. You got wide receivers who clearly have talent to catch the ball. The one thing that I will say is this: you need to convince, and I'll kind of expand upon where I'm going with this. You need to convince Russell Wilson to stay. Okay? And the reason is people may not have paid attention to the stats. Russell Wilson is good for 36 to 4,000 yards a season, even as he's regressed. Okay, he's been around 35, 3,600 yards. Okay, and he's actually had a damn good touchdown to interception ratio. Okay,
Mm.
you need to figure out how to make him stay in case shit goes south with Jackson Dart. Okay, because he showed you he was one elbow tap away from putting the Cowboys in an earlier grave this year. Okay,
I
look,
understand, but nah, because I'm using JJ McCarthy winning the Cowboys as a marker, so no,
yeah,
I understand.
yeah. He was one elbow tap away, and he was 400 yards. Let's be honest. He had one bad game. They were looking for an excuse to get him out of there.
Yeah,
If Russ could have came out of there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Russ could have came out there and threw 300 the next game. And if they lost, they were just gonna take him out. It wasn't gonna be defense or nobody. They were just gonna swap him out anyway. But you need to figure out how to keep him and not let him walk away. Okay, somebody may want him because they know that they can win with him. You have to play the ultimate game of I'm not gonna let you walk away from this team right now. Okay, I don't know if you gotta go talk to Sierra or what you have to do, but this might be the one time I'm gonna condone. If you want to make sure that this young quarterback or your team has a backup ready to go that can win games, don't let him walk away.
or
Just
he might Minnesota.
this is a possibility. Because I'm gonna be honest, if something was to happen to your team again, he wouldn't be a bad candidate to put out there. Y'all could win. But if I'm the Giants, you cannot, and I'm not gonna wish bad against my Burrows team, but you cannot let a good quarterback that could win walk away if you want a chance to win. You have to be the ultimate look. You have to be the ultimate hoarder in this situation. No matter who, unless they come offer you something that you cannot refuse to get him away from there, don't let him walk away.
Yeah,
Because I'm telling you now, it's teams that are looking right now that are assessing him and saying he only had one bad game. They were just looking to get a rookie a chance to start. It's going to be teams like the Jets, which ironically, it would be horrible if he went and took Justin Fields' job again.
which would be crazy.
That would be
Which
crazy.
not to be honest, I think they're gonna go quarterback. They gonna draft somebody, or they gonna keep old boy Cook.
Yeah. So he could end up there. He could end up as a backup somewhere because nowhere else is going to let him fall unless Indianapolis figures out how to get him as a backup, or Vegas doesn't draft a quarterback and they figure out,
Oh, they draft
yeah, they,
Men-
they better draft a quarterback.
Mendoza. You better learn slots, buddy.
Oh, you better learn slots, my guy, because that looks like where you're going right now. Okay, somebody is going to have to play keep away and keep him off the open market, because I think if Arizona decides to move away from Kyler Murray, okay, and he goes somewhere else, it could be a couple places he can land, okay. And then Kirk Cousins kind of doesn't want to really be in Atlanta, or Atlanta doesn't really want Kirk Cousins. They may just bite the bullet and keep him because their rookie is injury prone. So now we're playing a game of who could possibly lose a quarterback and who might really need that veteran quarterback. Harbaugh is going to be detrimental that you hold on to his ass. Just tell him, hey, look, you're a great mentor. I don't want you to leave. Look, you tell him whatever he needs to do for you to keep him there. Okay, I need you to do kind of the opposite of whenever Marcus Aurelius had a man in his ear telling him that he's only just a man. You need to tell him, look, you're the best backup ever. I can't lose you. Wherever he goes, you need to pay somebody. Don't leave us here in New York. You love
Mm.
it here in New York. Don't leave us here. That's what you need to do. You need to play keep away from every other team in the league and make sure that you have a backup ready to go right now, because it is a possibility that you could go 10-7 next year. You could easily turn this around, and you may need him, and he may be the difference between a playoff run that's deep with a hurt quarterback, and you never know. You never know.
Yep.
You never know, because Nick Foles did it one year. Okay, people hate to admit that. But Nick Foles did it, and he outdueled Tom Brady. As much
Philly,
as
Philly.
people may not, as much as people may not like to admit that, Nick Foles literally got Philly a championship one year like that.
Mhm.
Just throwing that out there. You need to pay attention to it. Pay attention to everything going on. Now, Rob, I see you have Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year.
Mhm.
And I see that you're telling the public, can they change your mind? Let them know how you have come to this conclusion of Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year.
So the so here's what I'm seeing. So like you got a team that's had so many injuries. When you talk about Fred Warner, you talk about Nick Bosa, you
Mm-hmm.
talk about Brock Purdy for most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This team basically had what they won like 12 games.
Yeah, 12-5. It was 12-5.
Yeah, they won 12 games with three of their best players on the DL or on IL
Yeah,
for most of the year,
yeah.
if not all of the year. George Kittle just went down.
Yes, he did.
Like, granted, they were already in the playoffs and he went down, but still, this team has been riddled with injuries all year, and they won 12 games. This motherfucker won like how many games with Mac Jones? Like a few?
He won a few. Yeah.
Yeah, like he basically like this man has done an excellent job with this team, and I think we got basically got to give him some credit. Like he just went into Philly, and even though like Coach of the Year is a regular season award, the motherfucker just went into Philly, won at Philly. Even though I've been telling y'all all season that this is a mentally frail, that the Eagles are a mentally frail team and can be beat by anybody, but he won a playoff game when his basically his top tight end got hurt. Like this man has been the coach of the year, and I think that we got to give him credit. Now, granted, you got Vrabel up in with the Patriots, basically uh winning and doing well, but they ain't beat nobody, and they basically stay healthy for a good amount of the year. You got what else you got? You got McDonald out in with Seattle, basically having the number one seed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. Like, but he had a great defense, and he great coach of a great defense. But that team basically has had a good bill of health for the most of the year too. You got Denver, who basically was a number one seed with Bo Nix with Sean Payton. I got you. Great defense, even though Patrick Surtain had was out a good amount of the year or had some injuries during the year. You've had all these teams, but you had one team that basically has had to hold shit down.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Christian McCaffrey stayed healthy for a good amount of the year, but
Yes, he did.
they would without Brock Purdy for a good amount of
10
games,
games. 10 games.
10
They
games
were 6 and
with
4
turf.
without him.
Like that man is the coach of the year. That man kept it afloat and kept that team rolling. And I don't think that you could change my mind. I challenge you. I challenge anybody out there in our audience. Change my mind how Kyle Shanahan is not the coach of the year. I understand that you have your basically biases when it comes to Kyle Shanahan, some of y'all at least, but I think that Kyle Shanahan has done an excellent job this year, and I think that he's the coach of the year.
So, two things, and I will agree with you. I can agree with going with him for Coach of the Year. Because if you look at it, beginning of the year, first 10 games, 6 and 4, Mac Jones was your quarterback. This is a guy that New England had gave up on. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you turn around, you go 6 and 1 on the backside with your starter. You're
Mhm.
12-5. You're third in your division, but that's because Seattle went crazy, 14-3.
Mhm.
You're coming out swinging. Now you're down Kittle, and you could still win today. You could still technically win this today, which is something that should be, very much so said. Hey, he did a lot without having certain things go. You know, so hey, I can agree with you. Kyle Shanahan could win Coach of the Year for this, but I don't think that's where it's gonna go.
Really?
Chicago, Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson?
Ben Johnson.
Hmm.
Ben
Well,
Johnson.
why so? Why so?
I think because he's bought out the most, and Caleb Williams this year.
Mm.
We could say now it's two ways to look at this. Some people are gonna say Caleb Williams matured. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I could also say that he had the right person talking to him. Okay, he bought into the system. Not in. I'm gonna preface this before we clip this, and somebody say Caleb Williams and Michael Jordan are not on the same level, but Doug Williams had Michael Jordan. Okay, Michael Jordan ran point at one point for Doug Williams for like 30 games and was damn near averaging a triple double. Okay, but you got Phil Jackson and gave Mike a system and won 6 championships. Not saying Caleb
Doug
Williams,
Collins.
Doug Collins. There we go. Not Doug
Yeah,
Williams. Doug Collins.
I was
Doug
like,
Collins.
no, Doug Williams,
Doug
like the
Williams, the
quarterback.
quarterback. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Doug Collins. Doug Collins had Michael Jordan, and he was damn near averaging a triple double, but it didn't translate in the we're winning finals. You bring in Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson makes some tweaks. He makes some buy in. He gets Mike to buy in. Mike pushes the rest of the team. It's domino effect. Okay. Not saying Caleb Williams is gonna be like Michael Jordan and win six Super Bowls. Okay, for any of y'all start with that. Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes coaching has a great enough effect upon a player to where you can get them to buy and you can get them to change ways. You can get them to do something that they necessarily wouldn't do, and it can happen. Last year, late in games, Caleb Williams kind of struggled at times. He was iffy. He couldn't make all the throws. Even though we had saw an arm talent at UFC, maybe he's not what we thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
As Green Bay would happen. Because Green Bay is still drawing question marks like enemies in Metal Gear Solid above their head right now. They still trying to figure out what the hell happened. Who was amazing?
Wham, bam, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. And then
Oh,
now,
for my people, this is not another team movie.
yeah, and now they're trying to figure this out. Okay, they literally lost, and they were like, we were up 18. They put 25 on us in the fourth quarter. It happens, but
Yeah.
I feel like he figured out what to tell him and what to do with him to help him get over certain things. Because last year, if he was down like that, he would have broke down. It would have been a blowout. I feel like they would have lost that 27-6 versus coming back. But I think that's why I think Ben Johnson is probably going to get that, because it's a huge turnaround for them. It's a huge turnaround for them. That's why that would be my pick for Coach of the Year. But if Kyle Shanahan got it, I could damn sure agree with that, because 6-4 with the backup in the beginning, and then you get your main guy back 6-1. You're right in the playoffs again.
Yeah,
it's a serious situation. That is a very serious situation.
That's fair.
It is a very serious situation. And I believe in it all. So I could go either way with that one. I'm fine with that one. Now, as we continue the massive amounts of losses, like casualties in a war of what has happened in the NFL, the Steelers, we think, may have to go out here and lose a couple seasons before they can actually get good. Rob, I actually have to agree with you on this, and I'm going to say this. They waited too many years of being middle of the road, winning and losing in the first round of the playoffs, and not getting anything back for it. And now we're to a point where they've been in the middle so much that there's nothing to benefit from them being in the middle all these years. Nothing. To be honest, boy, this is going to sound crazy. The years of Mason Rudolph should have been the years of tanking, okay? Should have been tanking back then. And I know some people are like, we don't want you to tank. Look, if I'm going to get better, I'm going to tank, okay? I'm going to tank. If I got to do like the Lakers did that one year and pay Lou all dang them and then sit their ass on the bench to get this done, I'm going to get it done. Because Roy Hibbert and them did not turn down the checks. They just showed up to practice and said, they ain't starting this, but I'm getting paid. So it doesn't matter. It does not
Yeah,
matter.
yeah. Like the way I thought about it was like this basically is kind of like what happened with the Vikings. Like the Vikings, basically they would be picking like middle of the road for most years. Like you never really see us get single digit picks in the first round. Like when we did, we drafted JJ McCarthy, which
Yes.
I still think the book is still being written on him. But the last time the last time the Steelers picked in the single digits in the first round was 2000, and guess who they took?
Ben Roethlisberger.
No,
Who?
that he was number 11 in
Not
2004.
Le'Veon Bell, no.
No, this is 2000.
2000. Who would it have been? 2000. Oh, I can't guess that one. Gun. Plaxico Burress?
Boom. And
Dang,
it,
that's a long time ago. Yeah, that is a long time ago.
so like they haven't really picked single digits in a very long time. And when they did, Plexico was nice in the league. Like, until bang bang leg. But essentially, yeah, this team could use some time to kind of like lose a little bit. And I think that
True.
when we talk about, like Tomlin having consecutive winning seasons and everything like that, and
Mm-hmm.
having, playoff bursts, granted, not playoff success, playoff bursts, you have a team that basically have not done well at drafting well, like evaluating and getting great players. The last what 5 number one first round picks, Najee Harris, who was cool, Kenny Pickett, Broderick Jones, Troy Fontaine, and Derek Harmon. Guys that basically generally haven't been heard of. Granted, you guys have in the first round have picked people like Marquise Pouncey, Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt, like players that have done well in the league, but it's like for the most part you haven't done any great drafting. And so
Yeah.
you can stand to lose some seasons. You can stand to have some failure. Because the thing about it is you got to get somewhere with it. Like you got
Yes.
to get to the point where it's like, all right, we're going to stack and we're going to basically, you know, lose some time. We're gonna get some high draft picks, and we're gonna, see where we're gonna go from there. Because the thing about it is, they also don't really go in free agency all that much. Like they just went in, traded for DK Metcalf to be and signed him to a big deal. But that's the only really big free agent or big signing, or really it was extension, but really big signing that you guys have done in the
Yes.
last like few years, or really last forever. You could stand to either go buy some players or just go, do some losing and stack up some players. But you're gonna have to do something because I don't really have a roster that is great. You got a good roster, Jalen Warren, I do like him.
Yeah.
I like DK, but he's not a number one. But like you still got TJ Watt, you got Alex Highsmith who's been doing good. Still got Cam Hayward who's been doing great, but y'all need more. And so y'all gonna have to be in the pits for a little bit just
Yes.
because that's the only way y'all gonna really have any success down the road.
So I'm gonna say something, and it's gonna be some people out there that's not gonna agree with this, but I could kind of care less. Rob is 100% right. Okay. For one, I feel like the first thing that y'all messed up was going to get the guy who was a COVID liar. Okay.
Oh
we
yeah.
we went away from a guy who probably could have got the same results and maybe even won the first round playoff game. And Russell Wilson, he was hurt at the beginning of the season. You let Fields go out there. Y'all kind of had it happen. Russ basically had a half a season with the team last year on the field. Then
Mhm.
you bring in DK Metcalf, and some people are thinking, oh shit, you bought him in. You must want to keep Russ because
Mhm.
Russ, this was one of his best targets towards the end. Let's bring him in. You threw up signs that made us think this is the right direction that they're going in. They're going to give him another shot. Let's run it back. And I was for it. Because I
Mhm.
was like, if Russ wins 11 games, and even if you win like the first round of the playoffs, it's better than what you did last year. You made improvements. we all know quarterbacks have kind of gotten to the point where they can play a little bit longer. They can play 38, and still play at a high level. Thought that we might have that with the Iron Man Russ of the NFL. He's been relatively healthy. He's great with the deep ball. You gave him his deep ball threat back from Seattle. Shit was kind of lining up.
Mhm.
Then you say swerve. We don't want you, Russ. We're going to bring in Aaron. Okay, cool. We bring in Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what you thought was going to happen, but me and Rob had multiple discussions about, I don't think that this is going to work.
Right.
And we said this probably at the beginning of the season. We probably told
Y'all
you
go
guys
look in
in
the
the flow.
archives. I'm
Yeah,
sure it
you
was
can look
something
in
over
the
there.
archives, and we probably said this isn't going to work. And, and now we're here. Aaron is on vacation.
Hmm.
Where? I don't know. I don't
Yeah, I mean,
care.
or what dimension? We
Yeah.
never know.
Or even in whatever
Motherfucker
dimension
in the
he's going.
Phantom Zone.
Yeah, for all we know, he's in the Phantom Zone. Could care less. But I told you, it's not going to work. You went the wrong direction. You showed us that you were gearing up to give Russ a chance, and then you swerved him,
Hmm.
which to me was a total just mess up. Because I was like, why would I go get one of his best targets if I'm not going to keep him?
Hmm.
It's kind of odd. You thought that it was going to work with Aaron Rodgers, and it didn't. And it didn't work so far because, well, it didn't work even closely because DK wasn't. I don't even think DK was even the leading receiver for them. Yes, he was 850 yards. He didn't
He
even.
had his regular ass season.
Yeah,
Granted, he missed the last two games because of his own damn near stupidity.
yeah,
And I will say, like, just don't fuck up your own bag.
yeah,
I It's not stupid because he was trying to defend his own honor, and I can't say anything bad about that. But you got to defend your own bag before you defend that.
yeah.
Sometimes.
So let's say maybe he does crack 1,000 yards. Okay, he only had 3,300 yards. That's it. Aaron Rodgers gave you 3,300 yards. That's what he gave you, and that's in 16 games played. He gave you 3,300 yards. I think it's fair enough to say I'm pulling the numbers right now as we speak.
Mhm.
You had the man known as Russell Wilson last year. I think Russell Wilson had right at pulling stats. Russ had last year 2,400 yards in 11 games. Okay,
And
so
it was that many.
that's what I'm saying. He surprised you. He had 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Okay, so the year before in Denver, he had 3,000. The year before that, 3,500. Russ has been relatively 3,000 yards or better if he plays a full entire season. Similar production to Aaron. Okay, maybe he gets a few more because he has a familiar target. Okay, he has a second year with the team. We know Russ throws the deep bomb well. He has a target that can get out there and they can make this happen. Maybe Russ is 20 something touchdowns because in the last full season with Denver, 26 touchdowns and interceptions. That ain't bad. I'd take that with a guy. That's about a couple touchdowns a game or so. You
Mhm.
had a decent running game. This could have worked. But you decided that you didn't want that. Y'all decided that this wasn't what you wanted in Steeler land. And I will say this: if this was a Mike Tomlin decision to get rid of Russ, shame on you. Shame on you.
Man.
Shame on you. Because now you step down. Yeah, you gonna get your money. I saw you being a dad at your child's gymnastics. Give you A+ for that. But now Steelers are left in a predicament. They need a coach. They need a quarterback. Okay? So now it's time to just go be irrelevant.
Mhm.
This is the
Just for a
best
little
time
bit.
to go be irrelevant. Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, y'all need to take a break.
Yeah. And by break, I mean, man, probably a season or two at like 3-14.
Yeah.
Okay? Or at least one for sure, so we can try to get a quarterback. At
Yeah.
least one.
Y'all need a long term thing. And the draft, the thing about the drafts are they're not quarterback friendly and they're
No.
not, I mean, they're not quarterback abundant. I'd say that.
yeah, it's not. I don't think that people understand that you're not gonna have the most. You're not gonna have the most success always in a draft. It doesn't happen
or at least
because
when you're picking in the middle.
yeah. Now I have a idea really quick that I'll expound upon, and this is what I call fool Jerry Jones. Okay, Dak Prescott has been a pretty goddamn good quarterback for most of his career. Okay,
Mhm.
but he suffers in a place called Dallas, Texas. Okay, pretty sure that you've heard about this place, Rob. They got big blue stars up there outlined in silver. Okay, and they always tell the
Deep in the
tales
heart of
about yesteryear about how they won 3 Super Bowls. I don't know if you've heard any of those tales, but
I,
I've been
I
hearing
I'm new to all of this.
I've been
Very
hearing these
very new.
tales for quite some time. Okay, now Jerry Jones is an egomaniac. Okay, and any
I,
team
I,
could use this strategy against him. Okay, I would use a couple picks and then pump
mm,
Jerry's head up. Jerry, you know better than anybody else. You could take these picks and you can give me Dak, and I'll take that money up off your hands. And I'll do you the favor of getting rid of that because you're such a great guy. I mean, the state of
mm,
Texas loves you, and you're all billionaire. Okay, you can go out there and pull a Jedi mind trick and get you a quarterback that'll at least be good for the next 4 or 5 years.
mm.
Okay, it's all about manipulating the system, Rob. Because I know an egomaniac whenever I'm dealing with one. And the best way is to appeal and tell him that he's the smartest person.
That's true.
Any of you can use this strategy against Jerry Jones? I personally would, okay? That's just me. If I was looking for a consistent quarterback that I felt like could get me there and we could get over the hump, there you go. This is not happening in Dallas. No
I
time soon.
mean, I would also look at Kyler Murray. Like
Yep.
I've been telling everybody, like I think that the play for Steelers, go out and try to find Kyler Murray. Depending on who, I mean, not even depending on who you get at as coach. Like just go ahead, just be like, hey, Arizona, I know y'all trying to get that motherfucker off y'all books. Here's a fifth rounder. I got you. Just go ahead, give me that, and you can pair him up with DK Metcalf and all them niggas that's still out there. Like I say, you go out and try to find you get the best out of Kyler Murray that you can.
Yes. You go do this immediately, and this will work in your advantage. I guarantee you this.
Yep.
I guarantee you this. This is something that you need to do. But hey, what do we know? But we are Burmigos Podcast, and we're pretty two sharp minds here. Don't forget that. Remember, hit the little notification button because we always here, baby. We always here. We always here. Always here. Now, as we, close off the football season as it winds down and we smell the fresh cut grass off of the baseball diamonds coming in and knowing things like the Rockies still suck. Okay? Now, with that being said, it's things that have happened in the MLB that
What
we
things?
well, one I'm gonna go ahead and talk about right now as a Red Sox fan.
Hmm.
Red Sox, we suffered a loss.
Hmm. Did you?
Yes, we did, but not
Hmm.
all losses are bad things. Okay,
Hmm.
not all losses are bad things, Rob. Sometimes you gotta lose to win. And as us losing Alex Bregman, we
Hmm.
gained Ranger Suarez. We're
Hmm.
gaining a pitching staff over time.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
have good young pieces. We may have taken a loss, Rob, but we
Hmm.
even got something great from your Cardinals. We're making this work. We're making this work. Even though with the loss of Alex Bregman, a great bat, a great fielder. Hey, sometimes it happens. It happens. Now I know that you were happy to watch my loss happen. You know,
I loved it.
I know you
I
did.
personally loved it because the thing about it is, when I first saw that, yeah, I got got lost on Alex Bregman. I
Mm-hmm.
laughed. Granted,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to the Cubs, who's Cardinals rivals, which on my tier of rivals is lower than like a lot of other teams, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like he's now not a Red Sox, which
Yeah.
is funny because y'all lost an all-star in Rafael Devers for this same guy who only spent a year out of 3 that you basically signed him to play with for y'all, which is funny as hell. Now, granted, when I first saw that y'all got Ranger Suarez, I didn't realize because I only saw Red Sox get Suarez. I didn't realize it was Ranger. I thought you guys were going out to get a Henio, which is funny because I'm like going from having Alex Bregman, who was a Gold Glove third baseman, to going to Eugenio Suarez, who is good but ain't Alex Bregman, is a choice. But y'all didn't go get Eugenio Suarez. Y'all went and got Ranger, which
Yes.
I think is a good thing, especially with where your pitcher staff is on the come up. But it was funny as hell seeing y'all lose out on Alex Bregman, yet another motherfucker that basically y'all should have been able to keep. Y'all basically, from what has been reported, y'all didn't think he had another offer. Y'all thought he was bluffing, and he fucking said, "Uno, bitch, Uno out," and got out of there. So y'all not only lost the all-star third baseman that y'all had, but y'all losing the all-star third baseman that y'all should have kept. And it's funny as shit. Like, so all that money, all that shit basically going to San Francisco and Chicago, but not in Boston. So from me to you, Red Sox fans,
Just remind him who was in the playoffs last year and who didn't see him. That's all I'm gonna
oh,
say. That's all I'm
oh,
gonna
where'd
say.
y'all
That's
end
all I'm gonna
up?
say. That's all.
Sitting next to us,
Yeah, but we made
buddied
it
up.
through the door. Though. We made it through the door at the club. You didn't even
And y'all
say it
got kicked straight
outside.
out. Like the thing is, y'all made it through the door, and y'all got the boot right out. So
I at
you know
least
what?
got to pass by the bar and get a drink before I was on my way out. Okay.
But I'm glad. But you know what? I was glad to not get a foot in my ass. I stayed outside the club. We were good sitting outside the
Don't count
club
it as a
looking
foot in
at
the ass.
motherfuckers.
I think they
We was
might have
pitching.
grabbed me by my jacket and they yelled me outside. Okay.
No, no, no. The Yankees said, "Get the fuck out," and y'all proceeded to fuck out of there. Yeah, you know what? And that was it, it was just lovely. It was lovely to see. I'm glad. I'm glad to basically be witness to the foot in thy ass, and then the financial transactional foot in thy ass. In the off season, it's a lot of feet in asses there. Y'all should get that checked out. Proctology.com. I guess y'all should just go ahead find a way. But no, I loved it. I can't I
I know
can't
you
get
did.
enough of it.
I know you did.
You know,
I know you did. I know you did.
y'all should do that again. Just
No.
fuck with another, fuck with somebody else. Like what? Like who else can y'all piss off and then basically lose on the person that y'all replacing with? Who, piss off Roman Anthony. Yeah, there we go. It is a
No.
little early for
No.
him,
No. No. No.
but
No.
no. I mean, no. Look, put some
We should
pissologies.
do no such thing.
Y'all should just basically find a way to piss him off now, kind of put it in some tinfoil, unwrap it after arbitration, and then find a way to trade him
No.
when y'all
No.
really supposed to be paying him.
No. 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 We shall do no such thing. We shall do no such thing in the house of the socks that are red. Okay.
Hmm.
We shall do no such thing. Okay. But now that you've done hating on me, we
Hmm.
must talk about the Dodgers. Okay. Dodgers fans everywhere are dancing in the streets. Okay, they're dancing in the streets, Rob. And do you
Oh,
know?
and just for the record, I forgot that y'all signed the nigga Roman Anthony already. So
Yeah, yeah,
never
yeah,
mind
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. We good. We good over. We good over here, bro. But Dodger fans are dancing in the streets. Okay, they are
Oh
dancing
yes.
all the way in the streets, and it is amazing because they pulled off Kyle Tucker. Okay, who they did not need.
No, they did not. Like that. Greed is a sin, my brother.
Yes, it
Like
is.
greed is a sin, and the Dodgers are basically sending it up all up and down this fucking league, and it's crazy because like they signed. If you guys didn't know, Kyle Tucker, who was the one of the top free agents in all of baseball,
Mm-hmm.
this offseason, signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers for 4 years, 260 million or 240 million, excuse me.
Yes.
If you're keeping track at home and if you're math major and everything like that, that's $60 million a year.
Yes, it is.
There's only two people that's making $60 million a year and up. That nigga and Shohei. And Shohei's really technically not making 60. He doesn't get $60 million in his hand this year. It's only like two, which that's a whole nother thing. But either way, the Dodgers are basically paying um a lot of people upwards of $100 million
Mm-hmm.
this
Mm-hmm.
upcoming
Mm-hmm.
season, or in the next forever.
which is crazy.
And so it's fucking nuts. And so the thing about it is though, they did not need him to be that. They did not need him to play right field for them.
Oh,
They did not need him to be in their lineup, but they did it because they could.
yes,
The
they did.
Blue Jays were in the running for him. The
Yeah,
Mets were in the running for him. It should have been somebody else besides them. And part of the reason why really he signed was $60 million a year. Even though like the Blue Jays were basically offering him 10 years, I think they said 10 years, 330 mil.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, and like I can't remember what the Mets were offering him, but or if it even was reported. But essentially,
I
like
think
he
it
was
was.
getting upwards of more long-term money, but let more long-term years. And so, but and the thing about with his contract is he has like two opt-outs. Like he has an opt-out for next year and he has an opt-out for the year after that.
Yeah,
So for all intents and purposes, he could pull an Alex Bregman and say, all right, I got my $60 million this year, but I think I could get more elsewhere. He could basically be in free agency for the next 2 years
he
if he
really could.
wanted to be. So it's kind of a win-win for both sides because the Dodgers, they got so much money. They got all the money in the world. They're Even though MLB doesn't have a salary cap, because I know a lot of people were pushing for a salary cap, they have a pseudo salary cap, which is the competitive balance tax, which is the luxury tax for them. They are now projected, as far as what I'm seeing on Spot Track, $169 million within the competitive balance tax. So they're paying 169 million in just luxury taxes, which is more, or sorry, 161 million in just luxury taxes, which is more than a lot of teams' payroll.
Yes,
Like they are basically rolling in mother. It's crazy, but be that as it may, this is a team that they don't need this.
they
They
don't.
they they don't need this nigga. This is what the Yankees used to do. This is what how the Yankees have been known as the evil empire. The only problem is when it comes to or the way that the Dodgers are not seen as the evil empires because they're so goddamn adorable. This team is so good. They have so many people that you root for, whether it's Freddie
Yeah,
Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani. Like they have so many characters on this team. Kike Hernandez, who keeps basically going in and out this team. Like they have so many people that you want to root for that it's just like you can't really hate them. And even in the ownership group, they got fucking Magic Johnson. Like they don't really have anybody. They don't have a George Steinbrenner where you could be like, fuck that guy. I don't like that guy.
yeah,
They don't. They really don't. Like you can try to hate on Mookie Betts for certain reasons, but it's not really much. You can hate on Shohei Ohtani maybe for certain reasons. It's not really much. Freddie Freeman is one of the nicest players in the league. Like they don't have anybody you can hate. So it's like them being the evil empire ain't really that evil. It's like a adorable ass apocalypse. That's all they really are.
yeah,
Like it's kind of shitty, and that's kind of way like they're not really conveying in like mainstream sports in that way because they're just so damn likable. They basically just won back-to-back World Series, being the best team in the league, and really pulling off a miraculous, I don't say upset, but like pulling off basically a comeback for the ages
yeah.
in the greatest World Series I've ever seen. But like they can't keep getting away with this, man. We come out and fucking let. We were basically doing this last season when they were basically getting Roki Sasaki
Yep.
and paying Shohei selling. Like we just went through this. They can't keep getting away with this, man. I'm tired of this, but I'm also not because they're so goddamn good. And now not only basically paying crazy money in taxes, these motherfuckers got one of the best farm systems in all the league.
Yes, they do.
They have MLB has a top 100 prospects list. They got seven top 100 prospects
Which is
in
crazy.
within their farm system. It's they
Super
have
crazy.
so not only can they just go buy motherfuckers, they can trade for motherfuckers. This fuck this team, but also I love them. I'm like Helga Pataki in that way. Like I hate
But you
football
was
head.
obsessed with them.
Oh my god, this like I love just how this team is set up. how this team exists in the same timeline that I do. Like they have the multiple time MVPs. They got all the MVPs. They got all the motherfucking World Series. They got all the motherfucking prospects. They got all the motherfucking money. They
And it's
because they
crazy.
just so damn
It
good.
is crazy. It is crazy. Now, I will say this. On top of that, with that move, it made things shift because now the Mets got Bichette. They
Yep.
basically confirmed to get Bichette. And now they shifting Brent Beatty. He's gonna have like a utility role. And now we kinda get to watch to see how some of this is gonna play out now because Kyle Tucker landed. People looking at Bichette. Bichette didn't want to be anymore in as a Blue Jay.
Yeah, but
It
that's they gonna have a hell of a lineup this year. I'm really liking how the Mets are rolling out, and I mean
yeah,
interrupt,
yeah.
but
Well, it's a lot of teams that are moving. Teams are moving. I'll say this. Whenever I think of, I don't want MLB to have a salary cap. Okay,
mm,
and I'm not saying it because I have a decent team in the Red Sox. Whenever I think of salary cap in MLB, I think about Austin Powers and Dr. Evil saying laser because as much of a salary cap that y'all want, it's not gonna happen.
mhm,
And some people will say, well, it messes with this and it messes with that. Yes and no. Because teams still figure out how to develop, unless your name on the Rockies, uh, and make things happen. Because we've said this. The Athletics, well, they re-signed Solstrom, but they have a young team that is right there. There,
mhm.
if all of these guys take a step, we probably talking about the Athletics making the playoffs or something. Teams can still be competitive even whenever they're not money competitive if the right people are there. Because
Right.
if you told me the if you told me, hey man, the Dodgers are gonna win back to back, but there's teams like the Athletics who have a bunch of young prospects, and oh yeah, they got a group of young guys that are coming out where they got a guy that's hitting 300, they got a leadoff guy that has power, speed, and he can steal bases, and he plays the outfield, and he has a cannon for the arm, and then they still have a catcher that can go out here and do things, and you told me a lot of this, I'd probably laugh in your face. I'd, yeah, I'd definitely laugh in your face. I definitely. If you told me, yeah, they're gonna have a dude named Nick Kurtz. He's gonna be good. They're gonna
Young
be,
naysayer.
yeah, they're gonna have people like Jacob Wilson out there. And they're gonna have Lawrence Butler and Tyler Solstrom and Brent Rooker. And you were like, yeah, they're gonna have all those good dudes. Like, yeah, and I'd be like, smoking crack, and I'd have just
Mhm.
walked away from you after that. But it is possible to still be competitive because this type of thing happens in MLB. So
Yep.
is that salary cap that y'all want? I don't know.
As y'all see with the NFL and the NBA, there's always a team that's gonna find a way to circumvent the
Yes,
salary cap in any kind of way, whether it's paying, giving extra benefits to a Kawhi Leonard, or basically finding a way to just be cheap as hell and not field a competitive team
mm-hmm.
because they can. The salary cap, yes, is going to build a salary floor where basically you're going to have teams like the Miami Marlins that's going to have to kind of raise their salaries or whatever. But the thing about it is that don't mean anything. It there's always going to be a team that's going to be away. They're going to look at the CBA and they're going to be like, okay, well, y'all telling me I could do XYZ, so I'm gonna do XYZ, or I'm a tank so I can basically be in the draft lottery, even though MLB doesn't have a draft lot. Well, they have a draft. I don't think they have a draft. Well, whatever. But either way, it's not going to fix anything. They already have They already have the competitive balance tax. They already have ways to basically have teams look as though they need to spend, but it's still to the point of when you have like a Dodgers that have so much money and cash flow, like you're going to have teams that are going to be able to do a little bit more than others, but it also is your team got to basically have guys and
Yes,
develop guys and basically field teams. Granted, like the Royal or the Jays last year, even though they had the fifth best or fifth or the top five or the fifth most payroll last year, and they were in the World Series. But they had guys like the Bo Bichettes and the Vladimir Guerrero Juniors who basically came up through their farm system and produced. You got to basically make sure you're fielding good teams, and you also got to look at, all right, who will we have that we can either trade away or that we can basically field to basically get a good team on out of here. You got to
Yes.
be smart overall, whether it's signing, making smart signings, or basically making smart decisions with who you have and putting them in the best position.
Yes. So it's all gonna come down to that. This salary cap, fooey. Get it out of here.
Ooh-wee.
Just get it out of here. I know what you're doing. Just get it out of here. Now,
Yep.
moving on. You know, every NBA season, me and Rob, we like to talk. We like to
Mhm.
talk about guys who play really well. We like to talk about guys who lead the league in categories. We like to talk about guys that do all type of things, even lead the league in injuries.
Mhm.
Okay,
So many, so many.
and one of those guys that always leads the league in injuries looks like year to year is Anthony Davis. Okay, right now there are trade rumors about him, but my boy Rob hit me with one, and he said, "You know what, Nate? Whenever Anthony Davis trade rumors come up, it makes me think about my kids." And I was like, "Rob, where are we going with this?" So I'm going to give him the floor. I want him to tell me where we're going with this, Rob.
So I'm a man of surprises, as you guys know,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I leave people guessing. And when it comes to Anthony Davis, when his trade rumors, like, because I'm hearing, he might go to the Warriors, other teams are basically looking into him. The Hawks, we talked about on the show, like maybe looking into him, and it made me think, our motherfuckers gone mad. And the reason why I say that is because, as y'all know, Anthony Davis, hurt his hand, is now on the injured list.
Mm-hmm.
Said it was going to be several, it might be several months, but now
Mm-hmm.
he's going to get reevaluated in the next few weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
So it may not be as bad as what it was initially thought. But really, what I thought was like, why are people so interested in this guy who cannot stay healthy for shit? Like, he's always hurt, always has some kind of injury,
Yes.
is never as dependable as you can basically want. He's he's the top 75 player, all that kind of good stuff. But that motherfucker doesn't have a top 75 body. And the reason
Yeah.
why it made me think about my kids is that sooner or later my kids are gonna want to drive.
Yep.
And they're gonna look out there and they're gonna look on whether there is a Craigslist that comes back because everything is cyclical, Facebook marketplace or whatever. They're gonna look to see cars. And they're gonna basically be like, Daddy, I really want a car. And I'm be like, son, daughter, I understand. I understand you're gonna look at the car, they're gonna be like, oh man, look at that car. Like it's a 2005 BMW or it's
Mm-hmm.
a 2005 Mercedes. And granted, this is gonna be long, long down the road. So it's gonna
Yes.
be 30, let's say 10, 15 years from now. And they're gonna be like, oh man, like this is gonna be like a 2005 Mercedes is like a 30-year car. It's like, and it's got 500,000 miles on it, and it's like the radiator shot, and then or whatever. It's like, I don't know shit about that, but it's like, oh, it needs new tires, it needs new transmission, it needs new this, and I'm like, you're rattling off all these things that this thing needs. Why do you want this car so bad? Because
Yes.
it goes so fast, and I could do. You telling me about all these problems that you got to fix, all these problems that basically can be problems again in the near term. Why are you wanting this so bad? Why are you basically keep looking for something like this? Why don't you go? I can get you a more dependable car, that you can basically have, and that you could have and really, drive and move around with. It's like, no, but this car, like this thing looks so nice, and I get. Here's this thing though. You keep telling me about these problems that you got to fix. These problems come with money, comes with time that you got to expend either by fixing it yourself or by having somebody fix it. Why are you so into this, man? So then when I think of Anthony Davis, it's like, yeah, you telling me about this top 75 player. You telling me about this guy that's an all defensive guy and all this, that. But this is a guy that's going to sit on your bench and
Yes.
sit there for so many days and so much time. Why are you still wanting this? why are you basically still going after this? Why are you going to expend capital as in the name of draft picks or players
Mm-hmm.
to go get this guy? Like, this is not a dependable dude. And this is not, and I understand this is not Anthony Davis's fault. His body is failing him,
Mm-hmm.
but his body is a failure. Why do you keep going after this failure?
Yes.
I don't understand it.
So, with Rob saying that, I'm gonna say this. And Rob's kids, they love me. I'm Uncle Nate. So, whenever I think about Anthony Davis, I think about Benjamin Button. Okay, and some of
Mm,
you may be saying, "Well, where do you draw the parallel with this?" Well, you know, Benjamin Button was young, but he was old, and as he got older, he looked young. He got more spry. He had pep in his step. You know, unlike Benjamin Button, Anthony Davis is taking the usual path of the normal person as he's gotten older, he's gotten in worse shape. But not just any worse shape. Anytime he's on a basketball court, he has a series of injuries like no one of. Okay? Anthony Davis hurt his hand. I didn't even know that he could even hurt his hand that easy. Whenever I seen it, I was like, what happened to him? And it was like his hand. And I was like, what? What happened? I went back and watched this play many times. I was like, okay, I've hit my hand like that before, never torn any ligaments, thank God. And then all of a sudden he was out. He was supposed to be out for several months. Now all of a sudden they got a second opinion, and now they're going to reevaluate him because they're saying he don't need to be out several months. Anthony Davis is such a curious case to me because this man figures out how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory every time he touches the court by getting injured. Okay? Haven't figured this out yet. It's a case that should be studied alone in itself day after day, especially whenever he retires. Okay? They need to examine him from head to toe to figure out what makes him so injury prone. Okay?
mm-hmm.
Because I promise you, I have never seen anything like this. I've seen catastrophic injuries just take people out. I've never seen just a series of injuries just continue to take someone out. And some people may say, well, I don't think that it's really that bad. And look, I'll pull up something for you guys, okay? Because I want you to understand, okay? Anthony Davis is yet to play a full year as a Dallas Maverick, which makes this trade look even worse
Mm-hmm.
for for uh for Dallas giving away Luka. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Rob, Anthony Davis. I'm gonna go ahead and list some of the injuries. I'm gonna list all of the injuries that he's had this year, just this year now.
Go for it.
Abductor strain,
Mm,
detached retina,
mm,
leg calf contusion.
mm,
He had a sore Achilles.
mm,
He's had groin spasms.
mm,
And now he has ligament damage in his hand. Okay.
mm.
Now, this is 6 injuries, 1 year already. Okay. We haven't even made a year
Mm-mm,
as a Dallas Maverick. Okay.
mm-mm.
This man's injury prone is something that only the gods know what the hell is going on. Okay. Now, if I had to ask you, okay, right now, the NBA has played roughly, the Dallas Mavericks actually have played 42 games this year, okay?
Mm-hmm.
42. If you had to guess a number, would you think that he's played more or less than half the games that they've had this season?
Mm. Less.
And you'd be correct, sir. He has played 20 out of the 42 games that they've had this season so far, okay? He's under half.
Mm.
He's already missed the limit for him to be an all-star. Okay? For him to be in contingency for awards, he has to play 65 games.
Right.
Okay? They're 42 games in, he's already missed 20. He's already at 62. He's already below the cutoff limit for not hitting the 65 games. So he's disqualified from any of that. Already done. That shit is done. That boat
Bye
is
bye.
sailed. That boat is sailed already. Bam, out of here. Now, Along with that, you're looking at a guy who's had major lapses in the time that he's played, okay? Granted, hasn't played since the 8th. We're already at the 17th. The man was spotty coming in he was spotty coming starting up. He played in the beginning. We watched him miss pretty much all of the NBA Cup. He came back in December. He played a while. He was looking pretty healthy in December. Then all of a sudden he gets hurt again. Now he's back out again. This is the thing that legends are made of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who wants to trade for him, but I'll say this. I love cars. I love cars. And if somebody offered me a Ferrari, but they told me this one is really fast. Oh, it's fast. It's the pretty red Ferrari, and it got all of the leather interior, and the features, and all of this other good stuff, and it's the convertible, and everything that you love about this thing. It was 0 to 60 in like 3-4 seconds, And then they told me, but I gotta tell you, the ceramic brakes ain't like normal ceramic brakes. You're gonna have to change them like every 1,000 miles instead of every few thousand miles, and it's gonna be a knock in the motor. Kind of often you're gonna have to take it back and forth to the dealership. And then the tires, the tires wear really fast on this. Like every 1,000, 2,000 miles, you're gonna need fresh set of tires, like all full new tires. And then the convertible roof, it leaks every now and then. If the wind is too high or it's raining too much, it's gonna leak a little bit. You might need to change the seal. And then it burns gas really bad too because of the knock and everything else going on with it. I'd look at this and I'd be like, I ain't want this car no more.
Right.
So teams, be wary of trading for Anthony Davis. Now, whenever the car isn't giving you all of these issues, it's a hell of a car.
Mm-hmm.
It's a menace. It's a double defense, former defensive player of the year. It is immaculate. Whenever
Everything.
it's on the road, it is everything. It can shoot threes. It can get blocks. It can rebound. It can give you 20 and 15, 25 and 15 a night if you need it, okay? But whenever them problems go wrong, those problems pop out like nobody's business, Matter of fact, them problems pop up like the zombies out the grave from Michael Jackson and Thriller. They everywhere. They dancing and sliding and whatnot, and they doing a lot of stuff. So be wary.
Be wary
of picking up Anthony Davis. I'm gonna just say that. I know Atlanta was thinking about it, but ever since they got rid of Trae Young, Jalen Johnson ain't been the same. And I don't know if you want Anthony Davis to add to your pain. Okay?
Right. Proceed with caution.
Yeah, proceed with caution. Now, from the hardwood floor, we have to go back out to the field, but not the NFL field. College field.
Hut.
We are concluding the season. Champion time.
The culmination.
Indiana versus Miami Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
The U. Infamous school. Probably one of the greatest schools to produce NFL players ever. Ray Lewis. Ed Reed. Just so many people come from over there. Clinton Portis. Goddamn, I want to say Fred was over there. I want to say Fred was there. Channing Crowder. We ain't gonna talk about his greatness. He was there. He was there. Warren Sapp.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of people came out of the U. But they face off against Indiana. Rob, who you got?
So, like we just talked about a couple weeks ago, as far as our predictions on who we thought was going to be the national champs and everything like that, I said who was going to basically be the national champ was the U, and drum roll please, I'm still going for the U. I'm still saying that the U will be the national champions come Monday. I think that they basically they're gonna win in the trenches, and I think that that's gonna be the deciding factor for the game. they got to get to Fernando Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'll call him man every Fran except for what his actual name is. Fernando Mendoza. I think they're gonna get to him. I think they're gonna basically between Mesidor and Bain, I think they're gonna have to get to him, and I think they will. The offensive line for the Miami Hurricanes is towering over this defensive line for Indiana. So I think they could basically get good holding, or not holding, but I think they could hold off Indiana and basically make sure that Carson Beck has a good pocket. Malachi Tony's going to have to hold on to the balls, and they're going to have to basically play out their minds. But the key to basically Miami in the whole really the playoffs has been their run game. Mark Fletcher's been hard. It has been a very hard runner. He's been just absolute killing it for them. So I think if they could basically get that push, get the offensive line going, Carson Beck doesn't have to do too much, but basically make plays here and there. Malachi Tony can basically be that gadget guy that he's been all season. I think that they can basically win against Indiana. I think I got them. I got them taking.
And I'm gonna pick the opposite side, okay? Even
Okay.
though the U has the size of energy in the trenches, I think Indiana is on Cinderella story time that they're gonna run the board. They're gonna get this done, okay? And I think Carson Beck, you left Georgia. It was a glaring problem. It was a problem when you throwing interceptions at times, you know. Got a little shaky in the pocket. You know, you throw interceptions. Last week, you threw one against Ole Miss, you know. Ole Miss was looking like, ooh,
Mm,
we got a little blast from the pass, and I think Indiana might be able to excite this blast from the pass, and he's going to throw probably two interceptions, and I think that may be the biggest game changer for this college championship in Indiana. And Indiana will walk away running the table, 16-0, walking out with the championship. Now, I will also say this because the U is playing, this is even greater for college football. I
mm-hmm.
think win or lose, this is great for the U. Okay? Win or lose is great for you. Win or lose, this is great for college football because you have a big name school and it does very popular that has Michael Irvin running around here with his belt, taking his belt off his pants, hollering by belt ass, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Love it. Okay? But this is just I think it's one of those times. I think this may be the time Indiana runs the gauntlet, wins it on Monday. The U still is gonna be very popular. People are gonna say, "Hey man, look how far the U went. Let's go there." Kids are gonna go back to committing. They're gonna look at this and say, "Hey, they have a really good chance. They're coaching the right way. We can go ahead and make a run." And I think from here on out, you're gonna hear them even more because they've made such a return back to make it all the way to play for the championship. So I still have Indiana winning. You know, the U are the underdog. Some people are liking it. You know, I'm just gonna pick Indiana. I think Indiana gets the job done. But it's gonna be a great game. I think it's gonna be a great game.
Absolutely.
I think it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be one of them things where hey, we can't lose here.
Mm.
We can't lose here. We
Oh,
cannot lose. You know, unless your name is the Colorado Rockies. Ha ha. Hit
you
y'all with
always
that one.
do. Just that's just sorry, sorry,
I love swinging at them like that. I just
if only they could swing at the fucking ball.
yeah, you're right. You're right. They hit nothing but air. Nothing but air.
It's
And
thin air.
yeah,
It's thin air though.
thin air. Add that thin air. But with that being said, you already know who we are, Bramigos Podcast. Price, Rob, Bisky on consignment. He'll be back. You know, we trying to work him in. You know, sometimes he got to run out. He got to do his assignment. He come back in. He pops in whenever he is. Like we said, like, subscribe, notification bell. Two channels we have. We have the Bruh Migos podcast clip channel, and we also have the one right here, Bruh Migos live. We're live, just like right now when we record this and have fun with it. We do all of this live and enjoy our time while we are with you guys. Subscribe to both. You can go back and watch the whole live, or you can go back and watch whenever Rob cuts this up and we make clips and we make
Choppy
beautiful clips.
choppy.
Yeah, choppy, but no PP.
No
Okay,
peeping.
no
No peeping.
PP. And we make clip magic. We make clip magic and give you guys stuff to discuss and play over and over again. And we love
Mhm.
doing that. Rob, before we get up out of here, do you have anything to say?
Nope. Good night, Canada. Good night, Taylor Swift. Playoffs going on right now, NFL playoffs. So enjoy that. We're gonna basically hit y'all up against next week.
Yeah, we will be back in your ear next week. Holla at your boys. We're out of here, guys. Deuces.
Peace.